All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Rachel Klein. I will be your presenter for today's webinar. Today we are going to be discussing assigning people into groups and classes. So if you tuned in to the webinar from yesterday, Ross showed you how to go in and create those groups and classes. And today I'm going to show you how to go in and add people to those groups and classes. Okay, so a couple things about the webinar itself. There is a place for you to ask questions if you have any. I do ask that you try to keep those questions on topic. If you have more specific questions or a question that doesn't have to do with today's topic, you can always email us or call us at our support line and we'll be happy to help you. But today, if you have questions on anything I'm showing you, feel free to ask those, and Kellyanne's listening in today and she'll be more than happy to type you up an answer if I don't see it and get back to you. Also, on the GoToWebinar toolbar, there is a place where you can shrink up the screen. It's like a left or right facing arrow depending on where your toolbar is. It's in a little orange box. If you click that, it'll shrink up that toolbar so you have a little bit of extra space to see what I'm doing on the screen. Alright, so current version for Church Windows is going to be 18.15.4. Let me grab my highlighter real quick and I'll point to it up here. It's right up here, 18.15.4. If you have a version prior to that, like an 18.15.0 or 1.2.3, you can head out to the website and download SR4 to get you up to current. We always recommend being on our most current version. So about the topic today, assigning those people into your groups and classes. There's really two places in our program that you can add people. There's a way to go into the individual's record and membership, and then from there you can add that person or add the class to that person's record. And there's also a way to go in on kind of a larger scale, if you will, and pull up each group or class and then put people into it. So it's a little bit of a faster way if you have a bunch of groups to set up. That second option I'm going to show you might be a little bit faster for you. Alright, so first things first, I have membership already opened. Here's our membership portal, and we need to get to the individual's record to put a group and class to their name. So we're going to go into members here, and we're going to work on the Jones family. Now, if you look up at the top, let me grab my highlighter again, you have this button right here. It's going to be one of two images. You're going to see the handshake, which is what we see here, or you're going to see some empty chairs. So let me switch to Martin here. And now if you look back up, now that I have Martin highlighted, if we look back up to the highlighted area, now we see the empty chairs. So the image up at the top is a kind of a quick reference for you to see who's already in a group or class and who's not. So if we have Bob highlighted here, he has the shaking hands, which we can quickly tell by seeing the image that because he has shaking hands, he's already been assigned into a group or class. Now if we go down to little Martin here, we see that actually Martin has the empty chairs. So by glancing up at the empty chairs, we know that Martin hasn't actually been assigned to any groups and classes. Okay, so that's just a quick tip if you need to quickly know where people are. But let's go down here to Bob. And I see my shaking hands. I'm going to actually click on them. And then my screen over here on the right is going to change. It's going to show me the groups and classes that he's currently in. It's going to give me some start date and end date information if you choose to use those. It'll give me his role and then any comments. You can also scroll further over to the right if you wish, and that'll show you some information on transferring. But today we're just going to focus on adding people. So right now we see that Bob has 4 different groups and classes he's a part of. Now let's say we need to add him to another one. So let's say he's joined like a men's Bible study. So to get him added to that Bible study, we're going to hit this Add to Record button right up here with the green plus sign. And it's going to pull up all of our groups and classes that we've added. If you need to add more, you can definitely do that from this screen by hitting the Add, Edit, Delete button. Or you can even print this list. So say you just want to get an idea of all the groups and classes that you have, and maybe you're going to do some cleanup. You can come down here and hit Print Items, and that'll give you a list of everything up here. Alright, so back to getting Bob in his group. We're going to go ahead and select the group that we want Bob to be a part of, and we're going to simply hit this Add Item to Record button. And after we click that, now we see we have men's group listed over here on the right as one of the groups he's involved in. Alright, we can close this. And we can also put in a start date. Say this group starts July 1st. Right here on his screen, we can come in and quickly type in the time frame for this current men's Bible study group. Once you get that information in, up at the top, we're going to go ahead and hit Save. And now we see right here, we have our men's group that we just put Bob in. It's pretty straightforward. So if we want to add a group to Martin, say we come back down here to Martin Jones. When we pick to highlight him, we see our little empty chairs are back, but we still have our group's classes information up. So if we want to put Martin in a group, we hit Add Item to Record. And let's say he's gonna join youth volunteering. We select that group and then we add the item to record, hit close. And for this group or class, we don't have a specific start date, so it's definitely fine to leave the rest of these fields blank. And then we're gonna go ahead and hit save. All right, now if you look back up, Martin no longer has the empty chairs, he now has the handshake because he's been put in a group or class. Alright, now say you need to go in and update his birth date, or you need to change something back on his individual record information. To do that, you come up here and you just hit this little individual, which is to the left of the handshake, and that gets you back to your personal information that you're used to seeing over here. Alright, so that's how you actually go into an individual and you give them a group or class assignment. So now, let's say you want to go in and you have a brand new class and you need to get a bunch of people in it. The faster way to do that is to go into Attendance and come into Groups, Classes, Skills, Interests, Assignment. And this is going to pop up with your setup screen or your assignment screen. Up here at the top in this big drop box is where any of your divisions or departments are set up. So if you organize your groups and classes by divisions or departments, you can select that specific option here. If you don't use those, or you just want to see a list of all of your groups and classes that you have, you just come down to this little select box, hit the down arrow, and you're going to see everything. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down to that men's group that we were working with here. And as soon as I select that men's group, the screen on the right is automatically going to show me who I already have set up in the group, which we have Bob because we just added Bob. And then if you look over to the left, you are going to see everybody in your Church Windows database, including visitors, that you can quickly highlight and move over to the right. So you can double click somebody. Let's say we need to add this person. Just by double clicking him, he's going to appear on the list on the right. Now, say we want to pick multiple people. If you just hold down your control button on your keyboard and then you hover your mouse in this gray column here, this will allow you, while holding down Control, to pick multiple people to move over to the group. So once you have the people highlighted that you need, you can come in here and hit this Add button, and that'll jump those people over to the right. Alright, so say you need to remove somebody, you accidentally put somebody over, you click to highlight them, hit the delete button. They go back to the left. You can add everybody or you can clear everybody. It's pretty straightforward. And then, say we have everybody added. If you come up here and hit save, it's going to prompt you about the start and end dates. So you don't need to go through and put a start date on everyone. And you don't even need to use start date. Once again, it doesn't require you. But let's come up here and hit save. And then it's going to ask you for your date range. So of the people you just added, if you put a date range in here, it's going to go to those people. So once again, we're going to put in our date range for the rest of the year, and we're going to hit OK. And everyone's going to automatically be populated with that date. So that's pretty much it, guys. The adding people can be done on the individual record if you like to go person by person, or if you just have one person you need to quickly assign to a group. It's probably easier to go to the individual record. But if you're wanting to set up people faster, meaning you have maybe a couple groups you need to get set up and move people in quickly, it's probably most efficient to come into this group's classes assignment window and move people over to the right quickly and get your dates in kind of one full swoop. All right, let me see if we have any questions here. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in the questions panel on the GoToWebinar toolbar, and I'll be happy to answer them. But I wouldn't be surprised if you don't have any, because this is a pretty straightforward step in our program, a pretty easy tool to use. Someone's asking, can we email by group designation? Bob, you definitely can. If we needed to send an email out to these 6 gentlemen that we have here in the men's group, you can definitely do that by coming up here to the right to this email tab. Now, with that being said, you need to make sure that you have your email settings already set up, which is done right here in this email settings box. If you need more information for that, please call us, or we have a lot of documents and even a video out on our website about how to link your email with Church Windows. But Bob, you can definitely email groups and classes out of membership. All right, someone's asking, can you explain what the past, present, and future boxes refer to? That's a great question. Let me grab my highlighter tool to kind of show you where she's looking. These checkboxes will change the information that you see over here on the right. So, for example, if we always used date ranges for our men's group, so say we had a men's group that ran from the 1st of the year to June 30th, and we removed the check mark in that past box, then it would hide any start and end dates that were in the past. So basically you can decide or filter out who you see on this screen, whether you see people that were in this group and the past date, so previous to today, whether you see people that are currently in the group, meaning their start and end date falls within today's date, or people that will be in the group in the future. Maybe they're not joining the group till 1/1/2017. That's what that filter will do for you. Just basically changing who you see on the screen. All right, someone's asking, how do you categorize the groups and skills? Well, to categorize groups and classes, that can be done by coming up here into this Add Groups and Classes box up in the top right. This is what Ross went over yesterday, I believe, so we should be getting this video up here shortly. But these are different ways to categorize it. So say you wanted to put all of your classes, like your Sunday school classes, you could make a folder called classes, and then you could add all of your different classes there. Or committees, like your finance committees, your trustees, things like that. You can organize them within different folders. And then these different folders that you organize will then be shown here in the drop box. So it's just a way to get to your different groups and classes a little faster. But if I go back into this add screen, if you need to add more folders, Cheryl, you can come down here and use these add buttons at the bottom. If you want to delete one, you can obviously hit the delete button, or if you need to edit, change a name, you can do that. But if you want to move something, say we want to move, I don't know. Not that you would ever do this, but you can click and hold on a group or class. Say we want to move high school choir into committees for some reason, and you can drop it up here in committees. And that's just a quick way to reorganize. All right, someone's asking, what do the labels designate? If you wanted to print labels, say you wanted to do a mailing for these gentlemen instead of an emailing, you can come up here and hit the labels option at the top right, and then you can generate labels right from this screen, and then choose your label size. If you want one to go to just the individual, which you would most likely pick for a group mailing, unless you have couples, and then you might want the couple to just get one, you'd choose family. But you can quickly get labels out of this screen as well. You're welcome, Bob. All right, if anybody has any other questions, go ahead, type them in. If not, we'll close up a couple minutes early. All right, looks like people are dropping out of the class pretty fast. I'm going to go ahead and end the webinar. I hope you all learned something new today, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. If you have any questions or come up with something after we end the session, feel free to call or email us at support@churchwindows.com. And this should be out on the website soon. Oh, we have one more question here from Teresa. Is there any way to change the code given to the group or class? That's a great question. Currently in Church Windows, there's actually not a way to change the code that you've given to a group or class. You can change the name, but unfortunately you can't change the code at this time. If you're really, really unhappy with the code that you selected, you can always make a new class with the code that you do want. And then move the people and delete the old one if the code's like driving you crazy or whatever. But there's not a way to go in and edit it. I'm hoping with the membership rewrite, Teresa, that we are going to have a way to adjust the code. But currently there's not, unfortunately. All right. Thank you all, and I hope you have a wonderful day.